So just really quickly, I just want to go over her special moves. She's got, you know, the light fireball, which goes across the screen, the heavy one, which does not, and then the OD one, of course, which goes across the screen and is significantly faster, right? And, you know, again, shout outs to them to using, you know, both of the fireball animations there that Chun-Li is kind of known for. Also, her lightning legs. You know, one of the problems with these lightning legs is that, you know, in juggle scenarios, like, you really can't get anything after the light lightning kick as a juggle here. So if you ever juggle with this, that's basically the end of your combo. Because if you look at me, I'm just gonna hold up. You see, I can't even move until Ken basically hits the ground. The heavy kick one you can juggle afterwards, but obviously, as you see, it has a significantly longer startup at 23 as opposed to 10 frames for the light lightning kick. Now, interestingly enough, her rev lightning kicks here, you know, they pop the enemy off the ground, which is why this is such a good party starter, because it easily combos into the OD Hazanshu, and that lets you get some combos off of that. I mean, you can even do stuff like, you know, stuff like this and open yourself up to even more routes. However, you'll actually notice something here that on block, this move is -8, so you're gonna get punished. However, they can be broken. They can actually be canceled with the break button at either section. And if you do this, you're 0 on block. So you can keep yourself safe completely by fishing like this and then just stopping, and you're completely fine. However, this makes it sound like this would be ridiculous as a whiff punish tool, like in the middle of neutral. But one, as you can see, it doesn't have a lot of range. And unlike most instances of Chun-Li's, you know, EX legs or OD legs, as you want to call it, in Street Fighter games where the startup is usually super fast, in this game, it's slow. It's an 18 frame startup. So you're not gonna be whiff punishing people with this very often at all. She also has Hazanshu, which is, of course, the flip kick. And as you can see here, the light version -2, heavy version -2, rev version -2. So they're all -2. Obviously the light version here is much faster. The heavy one goes a lot farther. And then the OD one goes far and fast. But they're all only +1. However, if you ever land any as a counter hit, you get a special reel. You get the stagger reel right there, and you end up with a +6. On a wild punish, it's the exact same thing. So if you do manage to whiff punish, like you do it and someone sweeps under you, like so, you're +6. Now, obviously, as you can see here, you're not really in range. So honestly, you're not gonna get anything too crazy off of this. It seems like to me the most consistent thing is to get a stand light kick like this. But as we know, that doesn't really lead to much outside of forward light kick. So you can cancel that into a super, but where Hazanshu really does shine a lot is as a juggle. So as I showed you earlier, you know, you can do something like this, right? And the OD one causes the ground bounce here. And I showed you off of the whiff punish situation here. You know, the heavy one does pop them up high enough that you can actually get, you know, hits afterwards. The light one, however, flattens them, as you see there. One last thing to note about Hazanshu, though, is that all of them are breakable. And, you know, if you really can think that you can, like, scare somebody, you know, with a setup, you know, like they flinch or something and block because they get scared, you know, you can actually go for a throw. She does have actually one charge attack, which is her spinning bird kick. And this is important because if you'll notice something here, the startup of, you know, Rev Fireball is 17. The startup of Rev Lightning Kicks is 18. The startup of Rev Hazanshu is 25. So, of course, outside of DP, Rev Spinning Bird Kick has the fastest startup. And so most of these situations where you want to start going into a Rev Excel sequence only work with Rev Spinning Bird Kick. The problem is that Rev Spinning Bird Kick is considered airborne. So you can only Rev Excel into the Lightning Kick. You can get stuff off of this, extensions, but mostly just, raw super or just the light Tenshokak, or, obviously you can just do Rev Blow like so just to finish it off and get some Oki instead. So it's really interesting that, there is that limitation. So while this is the fastest move, it really doesn't lead to as much, obviously, except if you're in the corner, then you can actually get the heavy Tenshokak and just start going to town at this point. So Chun-Li is very scary in the corner, okay? If you're in the corner, don't get hit by Chun-Li, because she's going to hurt you very, very badly. And then, of course, we've been using this all over the place. Her Tenshokak behaves exactly as you would expect, right? It is basically just like all the other DPs in the game. Light one is invincible, heavy one is breakable and allows combos and such. The interesting thing is that you can actually do it with a DP motion or down. They actually put both inputs in the game for you, just in case you find one more useful than the other. And then, of course, she's got the air legs, which, like, Tiger Ninja is very hard. So I just jump and lightning kick right away, like so. As you can see, most of the time, the plus was only 2 or 4. So I can't really get, or even 1 right there. So I can't get much off of that. Even on a counter hit, like, I get, like, so far my best has just been a +6, right? But it's very high. Oh, +7, never mind. But, it's obviously gonna also be very height dependent, as you can see here. So it has to hit just right for it to do that. I think the heavy kick one is gonna be more consistent at getting you, a +6 scenario so that you can combo off of that. She does obviously have the high dodge attack and the low dodge attack. Her forward feint is the fireball, and her neutral feint is a fake lightning kick over here. The forward feint is going to be significantly faster, and unfortunately, she doesn't really get good combos off of this. Back heavy punch and down forward heavy punch are going to be her best ones, and she's only +5 in those situations. So really, she can't get a terrible lot off of this, right? So, cancel that into super, etc., etc. So there's not a ton that she can do off of this. The best one she has is actually her high dodge attack into the forward feint, which gives her +6. You can actually combo into standing medium punch here. Forward light punch afterwards, and then you can do all sorts of cool stuff like that. But again, you can't really fish with this because if the opponent is blocking, you can't cancel this, right? So this is only for a guaranteed hit situation, and the startup is 12, so you're not gonna find a lot of places to use this. However, that doesn't mean that her feint cancels aren't useful, because most notably, for example, forward light punch feint cancel is 0 on block, right? So if you're actually trying to do one of those combos where you're fishing like, and the enemy is blocking, I can feint cancel the last one here, and then I'm safe, right? I'm safe. So that's really, really good. Same thing with back heavy punch. As you can see here, down forward heavy punch is still -1, but it's safe. Better than being -6 in this situation. But on block, as you can see, this is +3, so you're gonna be able to get a lot. And same thing with standing light kick. These two moves are gonna be really good for you having offensive pressure on the opponent here. The most useful one is really gonna be that forward light punch, because that allows you to fish. And you know, if Ken gets hit, it's easy to confirm, and if he blocks, then you can just easily switch to the fate path and keep yourself safe. The last things to really talk about are her supers. Obviously, she's got the Kikosho level 1 and the level 2. They're just more damaging versions of each other. And this will be her damage super combo over here, because this does in general more damage than, like, so for example, here's level 1 Kikosho, which just does 226, but the level 1 kick super here does 163. Now, as you've seen already a bunch of times, the last kick can be jump canceled, so you can extend the combo and do some more damage. So, but also notice that the startup of the light one is 11 and the heavy kick one is 10. However, level 1 Kikosho is 8 frames, and the level 2 is 7 frames, which means there's just a lot of situations where, you know, the kick super is just not gonna be able to juggle even the fastest version here, right? So in these situations, you're always gonna wanna use Kikosho because it's significantly faster to combo. So as I mentioned, the level 1 kick super can be jump canceled. Just hold up forward and you jump cancel there. The level 1 version doesn't launch the opponent very high, so there's really not a lot of like crazy things that you can do. However, the level 2 version launches them much higher, so I could even do stuff like this and still land and, you know, be able to do a grounded special move afterwards. And again, same thing, you can hold up forward and just cancel into the jump. What's interesting too is that you can actually press the brake button here too, and this will make her so that she just stops, because if you don't hit brake, there's a last move, there's a last hit there. As you can see, the total damage on that with the brake, it's only 99, right? But if I let the last hit rock, like so, that's 316 damage. So you're taking away a lot of damage in situations where you do the brake. And honestly, in the middle of the screen, I don't know what the use of it is. The only thing that I could find was that in the corner, this was one of the rare instances where you can get the heavy lightning kicks and actually get a juggle afterwards. For example, like that. But again, all her combos are better if you do the jump cancel. Like, I just feel like there's just so much more potency with her combos, even in the corner with some of the jump cancels. But again, as people experiment more, they'll find more stuff. Now, the question is, you know, why would you let the super rock, you know, all the way forward? Well, you know, it just depends on how much resources you have. If you're close to being overdrive, you know, you don't want to try to extend the combo with OD legs, etc., etc. So you might just let it rock to get your 300 damage. But there is one other reason why you would want to let the level 2 rock all the way through like this, and that is that. I love that. Like, she just does that. She just does that after the level 2 super. And again, it's just extra animation, because like when she starts it, like I can just walk away right away. But what I really like about it is that I feel like it's a throwback to her third strike kind of crouch, you know, where she crosses the legs like that, right? Like she goes into her third strike crouch just after the level 2 kick super, just because. And then of course she has her hidden gear right here, which is 6 frames, and it's very fast. So a lot of those situations where we were talking about being +6 and like, oh, I can't really do much, right? Like, well, you know, like this is +6. Well, you know what? I can just do this and it combos. So yeah, extremely fast hidden gear that lets her combo in a lot of situations and juggles, for example. So that's about all I have for Chun-Li. This is a very basic breakdown. Obviously, there's a lot more. This is just a good little overview on where it seems like her moves are gonna be useful, and her Rev Excels all work really well. She's gonna be a pretty formidable character, so I hope this helped, and I hope this gets you prepared for Chun-Li's release. Take care, and please like and subscribe, and let me know if you found this video particularly informative. Thanks, and peace out.